You think far too small, when the true scale of things lay in front of mortals since their first steps. You think your petty wars mean anything to them. Every contingency is planned for and was a millennia ago. You spend your days worrying about the Dominion's invasion. There are far worse fates even they would not be able to repel. The eternal war over Mundus has been fought long before time was even stabilized. Not that it matters to the gods, Daedra or daedra. Your soul is currency to them. That's why they slew the architect and cut out his heart. You must disconnect yourself from any alliances you have grown attached to, any petty theories you have over mortal trivialities, and realize there is so much more at play. The Mundus isn't a safe haven for mortals. It is a power plant for the children of Padme. You are just a pawn on the interdimensional game of chess. First, for the uninitiated, you must know the players at hand. 2 princes of oblivion. 2 catalysts for the end of civilization. One will set your world in flames, giving opportunity to rise above them. The other will make you do it yourself, only to rule over the ashes. Mehrunes Dagon, Lord of Change, Prince of Destruction. Like most gods, his true origin is steeped in speculation. One account, he was created as the embodiment of hope by the Magna Gi, to upend the tyrannical rule of the Dread Kings of Lig, chiefed by Molag, who then was known as the Ruddy Man. The Mundex Tyrene was ruled over solely by the tyrant Dread Kings, each to their dominion, and the border wars fought between their slave oceans. They were akin to the time totems of old, yet evil and full of mockery and profane powers. None that lived did so outside of the sufferance of the dregs. I give my soul to the Magna Gi, saith joyous in paradise, for they created Mehrunes the Razor in secret, in the very bowels of Lig, the domain of the upstart who vanishes. Though they came from diverse waters, each get a shared role purpose, to artifice a prince of good, spinning his likeness in random swathe, and imbuing him with oblivion's most precious asset, hope. He was created to obliterate what had been true for so long, so that the sapling of hope may grow forth. And that he did, ending the rule of the Ruddy Man. But this was just the first blood. Molag, Prince of Domination, Lord of Brutality, God of Schemes. He is one of the original spirits, created by the interplay of Anu and Padme. As goes for all the Etarda, he is older than the concept of time itself. From his realm of Cold Harbor, he rules as the archenemy of mortality, the fierce harvester of souls, for him to enslave and torment for eternity. But what he desires above all is Mundus itself. Not one to rush, however, for the worst torture is that which is drawn out, prepared for long in advance. He plays with chess pieces that have yet to come into existence. He can wait and infiltrate before you realize it's far too late. Mehrunes and Molag, while both forces for change, are fitting adversaries. But if that's the case, why don't they wage war on each other? Why have we not heard of them in battle since the turning of the new Kalpa? Here's the thing, we have. As Mundus was the arena in the last, it is their staging ground in the new. 3 important moments. 3 times the barriers protecting Mundus from oblivion were pushed to their breaking point. 3 times the world you walk on nearly ceased to exist in any form you would recognize. The plane meld. The ambitions. The oblivion crisis. Mortals remember them as separate catastrophes, caused by different hands for different reasons. These were not isolated incidents, but gambits in a cold war over Mundus. The plane meld was the first move, Molag Bal's audacious attack on Nirn, not just to conquer it, but to merge it with his realm, Cold Harbor, to make Nirn indistinguishable from his world of suffering, and came closer than the stories will admit. But as the mortals celebrated, as they let their complacency get the better of them, Dagon would pounce on this power struggle, and he isn't one to waste opportunities. He had been working on a weapon, quietly architecting it through the Longhouse Emperors, through 4 people, known as the Ambitions. He would embed some of his power within them, so that as they wandered Nirn, his power would become attuned to the mortal plane, so that he and his minions could more successfully manifest within it. Molag Bal wanted to pull Nirn into oblivion. Mehrunes Dagon wanted to pull oblivion into Nirn. Both plots, however, were foiled with help from who would become known as the Vestige, the hero whose name time almost forgot. Dagon learned from his mistakes. 800 years later, portals to oblivion opened all over Tamriel. This would not be an attempt to gain just a foothold in one province. This was an international, full-scale invasion. Thousands dead, nations reshaped, an imperial dynasty brought to an end. It took the intervention of the dragon god of time and the sacrifice of the last Septim Emperor to stop Dagon. 200 years later, Tamriel is still feeling the effects. These aren't just invasions to satiate their natures, they are attacks on the boon both want so desperately. If Molag Bal wins, Dagon loses his canvas for change. If Mehrunes Dagon wins, Molag loses his subjects to dominate. This rivalry has gone on since the last Kalpa, since before mortal history has been recorded, and it isn't cooling down. The ball has fallen in Molag's court. He has never been one to act hastily. That is what makes him dangerous in a way Dagon hasn't been. Mehrunes Dagon is the looming shadow on the horizon, growing ever closer. Molag Bal is the shadow behind you, so hidden you confuse it for your own. And he is here. Every soul lost and was never accounted for in your mortal wars. Every crack in Mundus that was never repaired. Every political and social system he has spent a millennia shaping and moulding to his will. Martin Septim's sacrifice may have permanently lit the dragonfires, denying any Daedric prince the chance to manifest on Tamriel again. But the King of Subterfuge never needed to, for the mortals are his puppets. Just look at the state of things. 1,000 years after the plane meld, 200 years after the Oblivion Crisis, the empire that once held the continent together has fractured. The Emperor is dead. The provinces are tearing themselves apart. A civil war burns in Skyrim, and the Aldmeri Dominion stands at the foot of a second invasion. These are mortal problems. Molag Bal isn't trying to invade a strong world. He wants to inherit a broken one. While the dragonfires burn, you believe you are safe, while the carpet slowly slips from under you. He has waited 1,000 years, not waiting for his moment. His moment is already here.